Okay, I'd like to show you a quick introduction to a program called Mastercam. This is a program we will be using in our course, and I'm going to apologize up front. I will be moving through this tutorial rather quickly, so if you miss something, just pause and replay it. Because this is a Windows-based program, there are a couple of different ways to launch it. First way is to use the Start menu at the bottom of the screen, hover over All Programs, and then navigate to the program you want to open. In this case, it would be Mastercam X6. Or the other way of doing it would be just to double click on the desktop shortcut, and that's the way I'm going to suggest doing it. When it opens up, we normally get a couple license agreements that we have to attend to. And the first time Mastercam opens on your computer, it takes probably about a minute, so be patient. For this license agreement, we can close. We don't have to do anything with this one, so we can left click on the X here or on the right hand side of the page here. And this license agreement here, we have to accept. So I'm just going to left click on that check box. And there's sometimes a third survey that comes up, and I'm going to show you what that looks like so you know what to do with it. It's this one right here. It's a customer feedback survey, and you just want to make sure that no thank you is selected. If it shows up, it won't always show up, and then select OK. Alright, so this is our basic work area or work environment. The blue area is where all your drawings and artwork go. These represent your tools that you have access to within the program, and the left side of the screen here is called an operations manager, and this is where tool paths and stuff kind of show up. That I'll explain a little bit later. The first thing I want to have you do when you're at this stage in the program is I want you to go to Settings, select Configuration, and then select Default Machines. And I want you to set up a couple of things for the mill here. I want you to select this little pull down, and I want you to look for something called Larkin Cam Tool MMD-6, and I want you to do the same thing for the router. You're looking for the Larkin Cam Tool Router RMD-6. That's those two settings, and then I'd also like you to make sure you can see the screen. Make sure the screen is expanded, so you might have to click on the plus sign. Right now mine's already expanded, and I want you to left click on Grid Settings, and then Visible Grid, and I want you to change the size of that grid to 1, and then select OK, and yes to saving. What we've done here is we put like a reference point on your workspace, and this kind of indicates the program's coordinate 0. And if you open up Mastercam in the days to come, and you don't see this little reference, square of dotted lines, all it means is you're going to have to go through the settings setup again, configuration, default, and set that up. But if you launch the same machine each day, you won't have to do it. So that's incentive to open up the same machine each day. Now that it's set up, what this tutorial is going to show you, or what I'm going to show you, is basically how to get started with Mastercam, and we're going to design some simple artwork that we will later be adding some tool paths to, and then cutting out on our CNC router a little bit later. So first thing we need to do is we need to know the size of wood that we're going to be making our artwork on, and I'm going to choose it for this assignment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you to create a rectangle that represents the size of wood that we're going to use, and the size of wood we're going to use is going to be 10 inches long by 3.5 inches high. So I'm just going to go up to Create. I'm going to create a rectangle, and Mastercam always prompts you on what it wants you to do. So right here it says select the position of the first corner. I want my first corner to be right at that reference point, and I'm going to left click and drag, and you can see a dotted rectangle expanding on the page, and then I'm going to left click again to actually place a rectangle on the page. Now this rectangle isn't the right size yet. You can see by looking at these values right here, it's 3 inches in the X direction, or 3 inches in length, and it's 0.8336 inches in height. If we want to change it to a specific size, all we do is highlight that and type in the lengths that we want. We want it 10 inches long by 3.5 inches high. And then I can either left click on this checkbox here, that's kind of like the OK button, or you can also hit the Enter key on the keyboard, same thing. Now you'll notice your rectangle's kind of gone off the screen here. There's a couple of ways to fix that or see everything that's on your screen. We can either use, I think it's this button right here, Fit. That kind of, whatever's on your screen will be adjusted to fit your workspace. The other way you could do it is you could just use your scroll ball and unzoom so you can see everything. Now that we have this, this is representing our piece of wood, and we have to put a boundary on the inside of this piece of wood so we don't come too close to our clamps that are going to hold it down in the router later on. So to do that, we need to go to Xform, and we need to offset a contour. Again, here's our Mastercam prompt. It says, what do you want to offset? Well, I want to offset this chain, or this, set of lines here. So I'm just going to click right here, and if it's done correctly, you should see a green arrow, and your rectangle will now be outlined in yellow. If that's the case, we're okay to go, and we're just going to select the OK button here. And you'll notice that I have a contour now placed on the outside of my rectangle. It's not really where I wanted it, but very easy to change. The prompt actually tells you that as well. And all I need to do to move this contour to the inside is right over here. In this window, in the offset contour window, I just want to left click on this direction here, and you'll notice now the rectangle's on the inside. Once it's on the inside, I can just adjust the size. How big or small do I want that offset contour to be? And I can actually go in and type it specifically. I'm just going to change it to 0.25. And then if that's all done, all I'm going to do is select the OK button. This new purple rectangle that's inside our original rectangle is the boundary that none of our letters or any of the stuff we draw can, it has to stay inside this boundary. Now that we've got that, we can actually start creating some letters. And for this assignment, I'm just going to have you create letters that indicate your last name. So I'm going to go down to create here, select letters. I'm going to I'm going to left click on true type fonts. This gives you a larger variety of fonts to choose from, and it takes a couple of seconds to load, but once it loads, you'll see all the normal fonts you normally see in all your programs. All of these work. Some work better than others, and you might have to experiment yourself. I'm going to choose Bauhaus 93 and click OK. I could, if I wanted the oblique version or bold oblique, I could do that too. You have to experiment. Click OK, and now I'm going to type my name in, and I'm going to load, or I'm going to select the OK button here. Here's Mastercam's prompt. It wants to know where the starting location is. So I could actually put it anywhere on the screen here and move it into the piece of wood outline, but I'm just going to put it here for now. And that's not bad. It could be a little bit bigger. I don't know if I'd engrave it this size because it's fairly small if we're using this piece of wood, but it's on there. It's on the screen. It's a start, and you'll notice that the prompt is still waiting for me to do something, right? Enter the starting location of letters. Every time I click my mouse, it's going to put a copy of my name somewhere. So we have to exit this text placing mode. In order to do that, we have to press the escape key on the keyboard, and once we do that, it enables the undo button, and I can left click and just undo the copies of my name that I don't want. Now that it's in here and we have the one version of it, all we're going to do is we're going to size up, we're going to scale it up a bit so it fits the wood better. And to do that, we're going to left click on Xform, and we're going to go down to left click on scale. Here's Mastercam's prompt again. Select the entities you want to scale. All we're going to do is I'm going to move down into here, and I'm going to left click and hold the mouse button down, and I'm going to drag a window around what I want to make bigger. And when I have it completely enclosed, I'm going to left click again. If it's done properly, your name should highlight in yellow. If it does, you're ready to move on, and you want to left click this green looking globe here. You could also hit the enter key on the keyboard, and what that's going to do is it's going to pop up a new window, a scale window, where you have a lot of attributes you can change here. You can see we can change the scale factor just by toggling up. You'll notice that the original hasn't changed, and we're just scaling up from the original. This isn't really what we want because it's going to make it really complicated, but we can fix that really easy just by changing this button here. Right now we're copying the original. We just want to move the original, and you'll notice as soon as I click that, the original went away, and we just have the one version of it that we can scale up or scale down. Now basically all I'm doing is I'm making it bigger so it can fit inside the box, and that looks like it's gonna be pretty close. Maybe I'll go one smaller. There we go. And that's about the right size, and I'm gonna click OK here to accept it. Now it's the right size, but it's not in the center of the piece of wood. So now I'm gonna show you how to move it and center it on your piece of wood. Just go to X form again, left click, and now we're gonna left click on translate. Here's the Mastercam's prompt again. It always is asking you what you want to move or what do you want to scale. This one says select the entities you want to translate. Same thing again. I'm just going to left click and drag a window around what I want to move or translate. Translate's a fancy word for moving. And I'm going to left click again to select it. If your name is the only thing selected in yellow, you've done it right. If something else is selected by accident, like if your name and one of these lines is selected, call your instructor and he'll show you how to fix it. But my name is highlighted, so I'm good, and I'm going to left click on this end selection, and same type of window that the was for the scale is in translate. You'll notice we have move, copy, and we don't want to copy it, right? I can move it, but I don't want the original to be there, so I'm going to instantly switch that over to move. And now you'll notice I have my X and Y and Z coordinates that I can manually kind of move around, and if you're looking on the screen you'll see the name kind of come into the piece of wood, and we're just going to try and center it as best we can for both up and down, remembering to keep inside that inside rectangle. And that looks pretty good, and if that's where you want it, I'm going to select OK. And that's pretty much the end of this tutorial. What we've done is we've set up Mastercam. We have created some letters, scaled them, sized them, and in the next tutorial I'll show you how to create the tool paths that will engrave these letters onto the piece of wood. Thanks for watching.